Anytime.
Hello?
Hilda, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. 1 second,
Good.
please.
And we can see you too.
Okay. Hello. Good
Tēnā
afternoon.
kōrua, welcome to the Justice Committee. I'm Ginny Anderson, I'm the chair. We've got 15 minutes allocated for your submission today, but if you can leave some time for us to ask questions at the end, if there might be some as well. So I'll let you go.
Thank you. My name is Zain and my colleague Kerry. We are from FDSS, Family Dispute Support Services, and we have an activism campaign was created in 2014 to help parents going through the family court, and we've been operating since 2014 on the social media. We have around 25,000 followers on the social media. They are parents, normal people, and also we started the FDSS. Basically, it's a non-profit community organization to deal with parents who are going through separation and divorce in and out of the family court. Probably the title of our submission, we say, is from a parent perspective, basically, which is we think that it's really important for the select committee to understand that how parents, they can see the proposed bill in a way, and at the same time, it's important to understand that the system and how the family court system is working in reality first. And I think it's really important. The reason is because whatever proposed bills are there is going to be implemented in the family court system. And if the family court system is not working, functioning properly, then we can see that it's not going to work in a way. It's not fit for a purpose. So it's important, really. I mean, we're not here coming to criticize the system. It's already been determined that the system is not fit for purpose. But it's more important to make you understand that how the system is working and the reality of the system is what's important from a parent perspective, not from a legal profession or any other perspective. So the next part that I've put in my submission, basically a lot of criticism about constructive criticism, and it's based on facts, not my opinion or someone's opinion. And some issues that has been addressed before, since in 2004, 2009, about the suicide, and also about the judge who said that the family court laws and the system lacks of sophistications, and also at the same time that it's breaking and destroying the children's relationship with their parents in a way. And let's not really argue about it in a way. And I think it's really important to understand that the children's well-being is relevant to the parents' well-being also, because if the parents, they are not doing well, they will not be able to look after the children. So it works both ways, and we understand the family court system, that it works only in the best interest of the children and their welfare. But it's important also to address this problem for you, that it's working both ways, because I mean, the reason is, you know, as we always say, that nobody will understand. This is from a parent perspective. No one will understand how dysfunctional and bad the family court system until they go through the process themselves. I can spend now 2 weeks just talking about the issues in the family court system, and I will not finish. It's a dysfunctional, flawed, broken system. And there is a fact also. My colleague Kerry, he's been working in this industry, we can call it. He's been working as an activist since many decades. And the problem that the family court system is not broken since 2014 only. It's been broken, it was designed broken, built broken since the 80s. And I think that Ms. Nolan, she mentioned in the recent, there was an article in the media, and she said that she was shocked that the same issues in the 80s and very less has changed. So it's not something that new. So, I mean, let me just, I mean, you have all everything there. It's written in I don't want to waste time. I will just basically jump to the proposed bill, and, you know, in principle, we agree about the bill, and we see it's really good. And it's very important also, we highlight that it's really important for the children to be heard in the family court. It's important, we believe, that their views are obtained and investigated thoroughly by the psychologists and mediators, or whoever is a professional and has experience in the children development and in the same time in psychology. We don't believe that the legal profession is the appropriate channel to obtain or assess the children's views. There is a big problem, probably some people, they never heard about it. It's called the parental alienation. Parental alienation, I mean, if you Google it, it will give you more view about what exactly is parental alienation. Some people, they know what parental alienation is. And I've explained here many, you know, literature and psychology in my submission clearly that the children's views can be influenced easily by one parent, or like, let's say external influence in a way. So it can be easily influenced. And as we say that, you know, the proposed bill now, what we have here written in our submission, the main issue is basically we have proposed laws. We're spending money on proposing new laws and new bills. But the issue is that we have is basically that these laws need to be implemented in a dysfunctional, broken system. So it's basically we're doing nothing. And that's the main problem. We can write laws and it's all well written. I agree with everything. And you know, we agree that the children's views should be taken into consideration and it should be assessed. But the problem is that it's not happening in the family court. We deal with thousands of parents every day. We deal with a lot of cases. I go to court hearings. I can observe from a parent perspective how the court processes are, how complex it is. People, they are committing suicide. The processes are very complex, and there is imbalance of power also. And in the same time, they are not relying on a proper evidence in the family court. So this is, I see it in a way, this is the big picture. And I said some of the major issues in the current family court as follows. Perjury and false accusations are allowed and facilitated. And if you want proof for that, I've got real people's stories. We can tell you about how is it implemented. The system is using a one-size-fits-all approach. The family court system is adversarial in nature, and this is where the adversarial mindset sitting in the lawyers and the judge's head. I've seen it. I'm an observer. I sit in the court hearings in the corner, and I help people with submissions, with the paperwork, and I understand, and I can see how they are inflaming the conflict instead of, you know, helping people to resolve their disputes. And it's basically, it's impacting on the children. Parental alienation is allowed and not investigated thoroughly. Presumption of guilt in the family court. A criminal is treated better than a family court user, and I can tell you that. And I think also Rosalind Nolan, she mentioned in the article, she said that many people, they felt being treated like criminals. I mean, I felt the same in my court case. I've never been in a police station. I never had a fine or a ticket, speeding ticket. And I felt like a criminal. And it's not only me I'm speaking of. I'm speaking about many parents. I go to their houses. We go into their houses. We know their parenting skills. We know their history. They've never been in a police station, and they have been criminalized and being presumed guilty until they have to prove they are innocent. The system is open for misuse. This is one of the biggest problems that we have in the family court, that the system is open for misuse, and any person can initiate any vexatious proceedings. They can do it for their own propaganda, and they can harass the target parent in a way. The New Zealand Family Court bias laws and processes and the injustice are one of the major drivers for high rate of suicide and self-harm. And my colleague, Kerry, he will explain for you. And we know the people that committed suicide because of the family court system. We know them personally. We've been, we know them very well. Also, it promotes fatherlessness and poverty, youth crimes and suicide, jobs and career loss, financial hardships, bankruptcy, basic human rights violations, parental alienation and child estrangement, child abuse and abandonment, psychological and emotional traumas, mental health issues. I can keep going and going. I will never stop. Now, as we said, I will tell you, I mean, in terms of how the system is open for misuse, we said to win a child custody case and remove the children from the other parent's care, you almost have to create a case that the other parent is bad and violent based on hearsay, no evidence, or fabricated evidence. And you can easily, successfully do it. I can write a book for you, and I spoke with Professor Mark Hennigan also. I explained for him about this issue before 3 years ago. It is so easy to abuse the court processes if you want to get revenge from your former partner or whatever it is. And again, I will say it again, you will never understand how bad and dysfunctional the family court system until you deal with it and experience it yourself. I'll give my colleague Kerry.
Just let you know that we've only got a few minutes left. So if you can sort of start rounding things up, that would be good.
Kerry here will go ahead. Go ahead, Kerry.
My turn. Yeah. So we have to cut to the chase pretty quickly. It has been my unfortunate experience as a New Zealand citizen to watch the devastation of New Zealand families over 30 years. And we used to be the best country in the world to raise a family. We have now seriously slipped to one of the worst in the Western world. This is a human tragedy, the worst that I have seen in my lifetime as I get well into my 70s. This is a human tragedy. And so I respect your right to address this bill and try and improve this, because New Zealand's not the place that it used to be. I believe this bill, although it's got good intent and help and intends to try and involve and listen to children, which is a very important part of the process, but they are easily put as the meat in the sandwich. And until they're much older, their views need to be taken into account, but many of them don't even know what they're talking about and are caught up in the emotional trauma of separation anyway. And so it needs a very compassionate, caring mediator to do this. I believe, as other people have said, and there's been millions of dollars trying to find out what's wrong with our family disputes, there's no doubt that the family court process is broken. But there is no politician or any large lobbying group at this stage that can either find the moral courage or the intellectual rigor to actually abolish it and shift it to a process where mediation is empowered. And finally, decisions would be much better made with informed, compassionate mediators than the entanglements that lawyers and judges have been leading families into in the last 30 to 40 years. So I have no confidence in the end, finally, that this bill will make much difference at all. It will just add another layer of complexity. It's going to take some very bold and forthright Kiwis to shift the whole process away from an adversarial one to a mediatory one. This is a major shift. I sit here now wondering if it will ever happen. And I now fear for my son's family and even my grandson's family in particular, because largely it has been males that have been on the dirty end of the stick. But now many grandmothers are now standing up because they've never seen their grandchildren. And so this is very heavy stuff. I hope you can try and make some sense of it with these submissions, but I really believe that the real answer is the whole thing must be shifted to a mediatory process. And I don't believe, as I just said earlier, that another layer of complexity, which puts children in a very difficult position, will be much help at all. I know this is not what you want to hear. It's not even what I really want to say. but all I'm doing is expressing over 30 years of concern as I watch family life in New Zealand destroyed. It seriously worries me, and I am unhappy. I will probably die. So,
Thank you very much for your time today. I'll just check with committee members to see if there is anyone with further questions. No further
Thank you so much.
questions. But look, can I just say that we've all listened today and appreciate how heartfelt your submissions are, and thank you for taking the time.
Sorry, just 1 second. Want to show you this dad, he committed suicide because of his struggle to access to his son. We know Jesse very well, and we've got also the whole bunch they committed suicide. This is here. We know them very well, and there's more, but and also one more thing. We've done a poll on our social media campaign asking people if they have any faith that the system will change. And 92% out of 600 people, they said, no, they don't have faith. So please just take this into consideration. Thank you for your time, and thank you for giving us the time to speak.
Thank you, Zane, and thank you,
Thank
Kieran.
you. You have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Thanks.